As a young boy, like every other African young boy or Ghanaian young boy, I had aspirations to become a professional player when I was a kid, and thankfully today, well, that didn't happen, but today I work as a football agent, and I've seen the landscape. In the work that we do, I've seen firsthand how disadvantaged the landscape of African footballers, and that is what we are trying to address. So it is not just about the development of the talent, it's also primarily about organization of football. Okay? SOCALOCA comes from the premise that if football is organized efficiently, it creates information that information can work for every stakeholder. So for instance, it will work for the player because the player will have data to show scouts or agents that are looking for talent, and it will work for the football association, for the GFA, because they have data which they can use to make informed policy. I'll just give you a quick example. So imagine if you ask the FA today, do you know how many footballers are in Ghana? They don't. Okay, but in Europe, they know everyone that plays football, whether professionally or you just go to the pitch to kick about, so that when the GFA or the Ministry of Sport or the government is making policy around football, it's all it's a comprehensive policy and it's based on data. Okay, because right now what we have in Ghana and many other African countries is policy that is made from it's well-meaning, but it's not backed by any strong data. But with SOCALOCA, it will allow football associations to be proactive. So, for instance, the GFA can look at the landscape of Ghanaian football and say, oh, in the northern regions, there are lesser girls between the age of 10 and 15 participating in football. How can we address that? What examples? So maybe the eastern region, the participation rates are higher. How can we copy from the eastern region and apply that to the northern region? That is what SOCALOCA does. It makes you proactive. It makes you see the landscape in front of you, whether you are a football association, a player, or a football club. So primarily with the football clubs, SOCALOCA will act as a marketplace that will put the producers of talent with buyers of talent. And there is also a very common misconception that only European clubs can buy talent. We have to generate our own football economies within Ghana, right? So that we can transact amongst ourselves. So that transaction is not only the flow of resources from the north to the south, but also how do we create a football economy within Ghanaian football. As a private investor, we are reaching out to businesses. SOCALOCA is not an investor, we are an enabler. Okay, we want to elevate Ghanaian and African football because we have the same challenges across Africa. We want to get businesses to become the primary driver of the football economy because that's how football works. The clubs, the players, they depend on that input from all the big companies that we have in Ghana and across Africa to understand that football is a viable option for them to showcase or to reach new audiences.